Year after year, it always seems like the Toronto Raptors are the ones to find these hidden gems that truly benefit the team. And over the last decade or so, these hidden gems and lower draft picks have contributed tremendously to the success of the franchise. So in today's video, we uncover the secret to success of the Raptors and how they always seem to find these hidden players. Let's get into it. Welcome NBA and Raptors fans. This is Amateur Hour Sports, the channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors at least 4 times a week. And if you like what you see from today's video today and you want more of myself talking about the NBA and the Raptors in videos and content just like this, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. You can help us on our road to 8,000 subscribers. Let's close out 2021 with a bang. But let's get down to business for today's video. We are talking about the secret to success of the Raptors, because we've always managed to find these needle in the haystack, hidden gem type players. How do we find these players that no other team was able to see? How do we draft these players that no other team was able to understand the talent that players have? Because we always seem to find these lower draft picks or even undrafted players that can come into the Raptors and truly benefit the team. We're going to answer the question how they manage to do this as we progress through the video. By the way, guys, renovations going on in my house right now. If you hear any noises, please try to ignore them and focus on my voice. So the Raptors, 2 nights off in a row this week, so I figured let's get a video in about something that goes beyond just the Toronto Raptors, because the Raptors, obviously the last couple of seasons, including this one, have not been our best. We're under 500 right now, hopefully getting back to 12 and 13 tomorrow. And last season, the Tampa season, do we really need to discuss that anywhere further? But prior to that, the Raptors had made the playoffs 7 straight seasons, and this is a Raptors franchise that has been, I guess, notoriously a bit of a laughingstock in the NBA, not truly finding any sustainable success until, well, this decade. And the Raptors managed to do it without always being able to attract the right free agents. In that 7-year period, like the most notable free agent signing that the team made for players that didn't expire their contract with the Raptors, like DeRozan, Lowry, who just re-signed. I'm talking about true free agents who are in the open market going to a new team. The most notable signing we had is probably Damari Carroll. And anybody who's too new of a Raptors fan to understand what happened there, that was a very poor signing and a little bit too expensive for the player that we got out of it. It's the Raptors. We won an NBA championship off the back of not garnering any real free agent attention. Yet we still managed to produce a number of good players who contributed heavily to the NBA championship. You're looking at Pascal Siakam, who was a 27th overall pick, Fred VanVleet, who was undrafted. Norm Powell had his say in the championship run as well. He was a 46th overall pick. How do we get these guys to truly be a part of that the greater thing of an NBA championship? Because obviously, we had Kawhi Leonard and we traded for Kawhi Leonard, but you still need to fill the right players around him to make the team successful. And that really is what the Toronto Raptors did for that championship run. Finding these players is a bit of a talent. And the most recent one that we have with the team is now Dalano Banton. So where does all of this come from? How do we always manage to do that? And I think that the secret to success of the Toronto Raptors, one of them at least, is the GLeague, the Raptors 905 team. The team was founded in 2015-16 and has already helped produce some tremendous talents for the team. Obviously, every team in the NBA, or almost every team in the NBA, has a GLeague affiliate. So every team can kind of do the same thing as the Raptors, right? Wrong. And we're going to get into why it's really different when it comes to the Raptors with their GLeague affiliate. And the reason we bring this up is because the Raptors 905 are in the midst of their season. They're 4-4 and came off of a big win yesterday against the Capital City Go-Go's. If you were following the game, the Raptors started the game down 20-0. It was a bit of a shock sitting there at Scotiabank Arena watching this game. This was the one game in the season they did play at Scotiabank Arena. Dalano Banton then checked into the game, and by the end of the first quarter, the Raptors were already right back in the game, going on to win the game by a good margin. In the end, a pretty nice victory for the team. And there's a lot of real talented players on that team. You saw so many names there like Dalano Banton, who has been a key figure for the Raptors, or a bit of a key figure for the Raptors this season. Malachi Flynn is a player who's been coming off of the bench. Justin Champagnie helps us out sporadically. We signed Reggie Perry in the offseason. He was doing great things with the 905 as well yesterday, as well as many other games. Isaac Bonga is starting to get himself a little bit in the rotation for the NBA Toronto Raptors team, and he was good yesterday as well. A lot of great players playing for this Raptors 9-5 team that are also helping out the Toronto Raptors in their NBA endeavors. Dalano Banton, probably the key figure there, and was absolutely immense with a 30-point performance, tying his career high in the G League yesterday against the Capital City Go-Go's, as mentioned. So how do the Raptors use that to be their secret to success? Well, the Raptors, let's go over their track record of doing so, because the Raptors, when they've drafted Pascal Siakam, the 27th overall pick, a selection that was absolutely ridiculed by media and especially Toronto Raptors fans who absolutely hated the pick. We have gotten Fred VanVleet, who went undrafted to a point where he can get a finals MVP vote in a championship run for the Toronto Raptors. We got Norman Powell, the 46th overall pick, technically selected by the Milwaukee Bucks for the Toronto Raptors, so we're still going to count that as a Toronto Raptors selection as well. We got all of these guys to be true players in the NBA. You can also look at Chris Boucher. I've had my criticism for him this season, but he went undrafted after some time in the G League with the Raptors 9-5, where he got G League MVP. We also found him a spot in the NBA, and he had a great season last season. Obviously not quite this season. That is still an NBA level player that you got out of an undrafted player. The Raptors 9-5 has done a fantastic job of developing players to get them ready for the NBA level. And what separates the Raptors from the rest of the league in terms of their G League affiliate is that a lot of these G League affiliates, they aren't quite close geographically to the NBA team. It's very difficult to get your guys reps with those teams. But as far as the Raptors go, with the Raptors 9-5, well, the Raptors 9-5 play at the Paramount Fine Food Center, which is about, on a normal day, 30 to 40 minutes away from Toronto to get to Scotiabank Arena. If you want to count the OVO Athletic Center, where the Raptors do their practices, well, it becomes even closer. It's like 25 to 30 minutes to get there. I mean, if you want to count 401 traffic, then maybe times can be a little bit different. But geographically speaking, it's very easy for any Raptors player, especially younger players, to go practice with the 9-5 during the day and then play with the Raptors at the end of the day to get some more reps in. And this week, the 9-5 and the Raptors are both on a huge homestand, which gives the ability for Banton, Flynn, Champagnie, Bonga to go up and down from the G League to the NBA to get more reps in, to get more game time in. Because with the Raptors, they aren't getting the most amount of game times. With the 9-5, they get that game time to really hone their craft. Obviously, a lot of development has to go into this. And obviously, a lot of scouting has to go into this originally to make this happen. But our ability to use the G League system to get these players ready for the NBA and get them these extra repetitions that they need to be successful is truly one of the secrets to success with this team. Because the Raptors 9-5 was created for the 2015-2016 season. I always say the G League, but it was obviously formerly known as the D League, but I'm just going to call it the G League to make it simple for the video. The next season, they went on to win the G League championship. Pascal Siakam got finals MVP, and Fred VanVleet was also a key contributor to that team as they went on to win the championship. They were key figures in the finals run that got them over the line. These players, only a few years later, went on to win an NBA championship. Norman Powell, in our inaugural season as well in the G League, was a key figure for that team, averaging about 24 points per game. These players went on to become key figures for the actual NBA team. And without this extra reps and without all these extra things they did in the G League, perhaps would they have quite gotten to this level? I don't think we know. But I really do feel like the G League, the creation of the Raptors 9-5, had a huge effect on the Raptors pushing on to be successful for the championship. Would it have happened without the G League affiliate being created? It's possible, but I really like the fact that we had that to really sharpen up the skills of a lot of the younger players. Because even if they aren't quite playing in a lot of the G League games, it's still the extra practices, the extra bit of development with some great coaching staff. Currently, Patrick Mutombo is there doing a great job with the organization. And that is a key part of the success of the Raptors franchise. But a lot of that is in the past. The Raptors right now are struggling. We don't really need to get these guys ready to go and win a championship. Maybe in the future we do. But what about in the present? How can this team help us out in the present? I think there are two big things that it can help us with currently. when the Raptors have injuries or when the Raptors are struggling in a certain position, there is the ability to call up players to make a difference. Isaac Bonga is the first one to do that. Wasn't really getting any game time with the Raptors, but after a great, like an outrageously good start to the G League season, Bonga found himself playing with the Raptors, getting some reps in. Hasn't quite found his feet in the NBA just yet, but after some great performances in G League, I think that is soon to follow. And there's a lot of talk going around, especially today, about Chris Boucher getting traded away from the team. How are we going to replace his spot on the roster? Well, I don't think we need to look any further than our own system. Reggie Perry has been playing tremendously in the G League. We signed him to an Exhibit 10 contract in the summer, and he's averaging 18 points per game in the G League. Great interior game. He's been playing as their center, basically, doing a great job on defense and on offense, shooting very well from the field. And the three ball is kind of starting to drop for Reggie Perry as well. I think that is a guy that we could see move into the Raptors as well to fill in the depth. But the important thing is that if we call up Reggie Perry to the NBA team, where he really isn't going to get much play time, and there's probably a lot of did not plays that are going to happen if he is with the Toronto Raptors. However, even though he's not getting that game time with the Raptors, he can still be with the team, get that NBA experience, and then still play his games for the Raptors 9 to 5, because the games are only, if they're home, 30 to 40 minutes away. The practices are very close by as well. So if you have the ability to bring in players through your own system, you don't need to make any trades for, you don't need to lose any assets for, you can bring those players into your team to help out your NBA team, but they can still get their repetitions in and get their confidence in the Raptors 9 to 5 system. Another thing that is great about the system is that for players like Malachi Flynn who really have a bit of a lost confidence in the NBA, you can put them in the G League. You can get their confidence back up playing with the Raptors 9 to 5 in the G League. And Malachi Flynn, after a tough first quarter yesterday against the Go-Go's, was great throughout the game, was one of the best players on the court for the 905, especially in the third quarter where he absolutely took over. There are so many great things about having this G League team, and the Raptors are one of the best in the NBA at using it to their advantage. A lot of players, a lot of teams just kind of have it's there. You throw your prospects there. You kind of hope that they get better. But I feel like there really is a true family and commitment from the Raptors to use the G League to get players ready and capable of playing for their NBA team. It's not just there. It is a whole system in place to make this team better. And we've already reaped the benefits in the past. I think as we get more and more accustomed to having this team, because it's still a very new team, as we continue to get more and more accustomed to it, we are only going to get better and profit further from it in the future. The Raptors have been great this decade. 7 straight playoff appearances. We weren't allowed to get the top draft picks. A lot of times we trade away our first round draft picks for better players to go for that championship run, like Marc Gasol. We don't always have the best draft picks, yet how do we still find these players capable of rising to the next level with late first or even second round picks? It's our development. It's the system we have in place to make these players better. Last couple of years, well, I mean, we can cheat a little bit. We weren't great last season. We got a really good draft pick. We don't really need to have the development system in place for that. But as we look to reach our ambitions of getting back to that championship caliber level, we will need to revisit this system, revisit the way we found these hidden gems and develop these hidden gems. It's one thing to scout a good player, but it's an entirely other thing to get that player up to the level that they aspire to be. And the Raptors are arguably the best in the NBA at achieving that feat. So what do you guys make of this theory I presented in this video? Are you fans of the Raptors 9 to 5? If you aren't, I encourage you to go check out a game, especially if you're local. Go check out a game or even watch them. It's completely free to watch on the G League website. Sometimes it is on TSN Plus as well. I implore you to go watch one of those games. They are very, very entertaining. But thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please give a like on the video if you did enjoy. It goes a long way to supporting the channel. And if you really enjoyed and want to see more videos from myself, make sure you subscribe to Amateur Sports. 4+ Raptors videos every single week. Stay subscribed with this button right in the middle of the screen, and you can keep up to date with all of that great content. Also, check out some other videos that we have for you, the most recent and another that you may enjoy.